From a player's perspective, you were in a playoff position coming out of that game in Colorado right after the All-Star break. In your mind, what happened down the stretch?
I think that's a tough time of the year. I mean, that's when things start to get tough, and teams are starting to make a playoff push. And obviously, injuries again played a factor in that. But at the same time, I think it was a big learning curve for all of us and all of our young guys. That it's tough to play in those games. It's tough to play in situations like that where it gets tough. And I think we kind of went for had a little bit of a lull there where we needed to win those games, and that just comes with experience and learning from it.
Is that maybe when you look back on the season, there was that stretch in November where you guys won one game in 13, and then there was a sort of another lull that you talked about. I mean, did those ultimately do you in if you can find a way to pick up a few more wins and not let those types of stretches take over?
For sure, and I think that's something we talked about as a group, and even just talking with these guys, that we want to find consistency in our game and not have those lulls. Where let's go on a 10-game winning streak instead of 1 and 13, right? So I think to change that kind of for next season, where we can't accept losing and can't accept win some, lose some. It's having consistency in our game is going to be huge.
Can we ask all of you about your status for the World Championships?
I won't be going. I got a lot of things going on this summer, so I'll
get married.
Yeah. Thanks, Brock. Yeah, getting married, so I won't be going.
I won't be going either. Me and my agents talked, and we felt it's best that I get a summer of full training in, and obviously it was only a short summer last year, so I'm really excited to get back and get a full summer of training in.
I haven't heard a word, so
and I'm talking to my family, agent, and some other people to make a decision.
For you, I know late in the years the production changed. You didn't want to suggest that a rookie wall had anything to do with that. In your mind, assess your first season and the ups and downs that came with it.
I started really good, and of course I'm really happy with my season. But I started really good, and as the season went along, I think teams started scouting me more and tried to put more focus on me, and so I kind of had both the up of the season and both the down of the season. So it's a learning progress, especially at the end of the season when it didn't really go as good as I wanted it to go. But I'll just continue working and continue to get better.
Elias, what did you take from this first season that you feel like you can maybe change in the off season or change for next season? I mean, was there a challenge that you faced that kind of was unexpected heading into the NHL? I didn't know what to expect coming in and playing NHL. I knew it was going to be tougher with the schedule and much more games, but I don't know where to start. I'm really happy with the season, and like I said, I both had ups in the season and both had downs in the season. So it's as much as it can be. Okay, how should I say? No, I forgot myself.
Learning process. It's a learning process.
Yeah, it's a learning process. Thanks, Brock. With assist.
Brock, how do you feel going into this off-season without having an injury issue that would shorten your training? How do you feel that will change how you approach the off-season and the following season?
Yeah, it's a lot different than last year because I couldn't do anything till about mid-July. So being able to get back and talking with the strength guys and getting a whole program set up to make sure that I'm feeling good and getting my back strong again and my abs and stuff to support the back and stuff. So it's exciting. Last summer was tough, and obviously it carried it to earlier the season, and but we got through it. And like Petey said, there's ups and downs in the year, and overall I felt I got better as a player.
Travis talked about his group taking another step in its development this season and still wanting to continue to do that going forward. But from your perspective and from the perspective of the guys in the room that have been here for a few years, where did you see that step in your group's game this past season?
I think just as a whole, as a group, we became more confident. I think we really gelled as a group this year. I know showing up to the rink every day, I knew my teammates were going to have my back, and I felt like they knew I was going to have theirs. And I think that translates to your performance on the ice when you have a tight-knit group like that. So we built a lot of relationships. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's a business, and things are going to happen in the off-season, I'd imagine. But it was a lot of fun coming to the rink every day and being in the fight and being that close to the playoffs. Or next year, we obviously want another taste of it and hopefully be able to get in.
How different is the identity of this team today as opposed to a year ago, do you think?
It's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, Hank and Danny weren't here this year. That was a huge void. And at the same time, it gave guys like Petey and these two guys an opportunity to kind of thrive and blossom into the players that they are now. And I think they really surprised a lot of people. And I think as a team, we surprised a lot of people around the league this year and started earning a little bit of respect. But it can't just be a one-off. We got to show up to camp next year ready to work and ready to do it again all over again. Add a little bit more to it too. Because at the end of the day, we didn't make the playoffs. So as a season, obviously, I think as a group, we think we failed. So we'll continue to try to get better.
And Brock, you go into the offseason right now without a contract. I know your parties will meet with the Canucks over the next few weeks and try and get something done. How confident are you that that'll be a pretty quick process here to get you signed?
Yeah, like Jim and Travis said earlier, they're gonna. I think Jim and them are gonna reach out here in the next few weeks, and I'm gonna go home and meet with my side of things to get on the same page, and we'll go from there. And I think they sound confident, and we sound confident that it shouldn't take too long, hopefully.
We see guys, teams evolve, new dynamics emerge, evolution. I look at the four of you and I see the leadership group for this team for years to come. Troy, you talked about how it was going to be different without Daniel and Henrik. Did you embrace that? Are you going to embrace that moving forward? Because you four to me seem to be the logical part of this core, and you seem to have embraced that role and developed into it this season. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it already. I mean, I think just our play on the ice. We want to win. We're all passionate about the game. We all want to be better. We all want to see each other succeed. And even as young guys, we try to speak up in the room and try to do whatever it takes to help the team win. And I think we got four really good hockey players here, and a stepping stone to build something pretty special here. So I'm excited about it.
Cheer for you.
I think he said it good.
A couple from me. Bo, you played all 82 games. You took more face-offs than anybody in the league, and hit a career high for goals. Although Travis said your game can still get to another level. What do you think he meant by that, and where do you think you can still improve?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that too. I don't think I've hit my peak. I don't think I've played my best hockey to come, and I think for me to keep improving on my two-way game again, being that guy you can rely on for a big face-off, or being out there in key situations and playing against the other team's top lines. I want to be that type of player, and I think that's what's going to help this team win is me trying to be the best leader, best two-way forward I can be, and if I continue to keep getting better at that and polish my game around being that type of player, I think it's going to help our team help our team win.
One for Troy here. When Edler and Tanev were hurt, and you and Hutton were logging crazy minutes, Jim talked about trying to add to the back end this summer. What did it mean to you to play that many minutes? I mean, obviously, players want to play a lot, but what did that do for your confidence level to know that you could log that many minutes over that span of time?
I thought it was a good opportunity and a good experience. At the same time, it just gave me a huge appreciation for Chris and Eddie, how they do it on a night-to-night basis, and they do it without fear. And
put their body on the line every single night for us. So I tried to take as much as I could learn from the coaching staff and through some of the older players and incorporate it into that opportunity where I was playing a lot more, and felt like I did a decent job. Still not the player I want to be yet, but it was definitely a step in the right direction. I feel like my game as a whole from the end of the season to where it was at the start's completely different, and a lot of it had to do with opportunity and getting those different opportunities on the power play and the penalty kill and playing shutdown. So I think as a player, people are always going to doubt me just on my stature, but I think I could prove that I can do a decent job and can be reliable. And now it's up to the coaching staff on how they want to use me. But whatever way form, I'm going to be happy to help.
Brock, how frustrating was that start of the year for you, given the injuries?
Yeah, it's tough. Kind of not knowing what was going on for a little bit there, and then having to miss 2 games and feeling better and then playing again and kind of tweaking it again and then missing another 11 games or whatever it was tough. And then finally getting back and trying to find my game again. I already had a long off season, and then to miss another 13 games right off the start was tough. But I felt I've learned a lot throughout this whole year, and I've taken steps as a player, and I still personally think I can take a huge step. I remember you guys comparing when Bo took that huge step going into his 3rd year. I think I can take that step for next year.
Bo, everyone talks about the young core. You're 24 now. Do you still feel like you're a young player? And for all of you, Jim talked about how Stanley Cup contending teams their ages are in the 26 to 35 range as far as their core goes. Do you agree?
Yeah, when you look at the teams that are successful, you do see a lot of older guys, experienced guys, veteran guys. You don't see too many young guys in the lineup, but I think for our sake, we have a lot. We do have a lot of young guys. I don't feel young at 24. I feel like I've been in the league for a little bit now, and I feel like an older guy. But I think our young guys are really mature, and they have mature style of play, and I think they can handle the long runs in the playoffs, and that's our main goal. That's what we want to do. That's where we want to be at the end of the day, and I think we have the team here to do it.
Elias, you said that it was a learning curve for you this season and you didn't really know what to expect, but what is the biggest thing that you took away from the season or that you learned that you maybe didn't expect heading in?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. And it's the NHL, it's where I dreamed of playing, but I think it's just between games that the schedule is so tight. You got to take care of your body after every game to be ready and have energy for the next game. So I think that was like the biggest adjustment for me, because in Sweden we had a lot more days between games. So.
Elias, what are some of the things you'll weigh? You talked about still deciding if you'll go to the World Championships. What goes into that decision for you, and whether you'll decide to go or not in the end?
No, it's just if, of course, I love to play for Sweden. Like last year, playing for in Denmark was a big honor for me. But it just, if it's been a long season for me, a lot of games. Body is tired, but yeah, it's my brain shuts down. No, it's just like I have some days now to calm down, talk to my parents, agents, friends, to see where I'm at, and I will make a decision from there.